What's up, everybody? Hope you all's doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have a nice little show planned for y'all, in store for y'all tonight. So I have not been on in a while, guys. I apologize for that. But before I go any further, this is my friend Lynn. She's an incredibly gifted psychic. Guys, before I go any further, right here, in case you have this question during the show, if you want to contact Lynn for a reading or anything, or you have any questions, you want to reach out to her, right here, I have a banner across the bottom of the screen giving her contact information. So you want to reach out for a reading, or you have any type of question regarding the paranormal or anything in that field, don't hesitate. Reach out. She's open to anybody reaching out, and she's willing to take any questions, whether you think they're silly questions or not. No question is a silly question when it comes to the paranormal. You have to arm yourself and know what you're getting into. So we have Sessa, my man. So I don't know if he's here in the chat now, but he will be. Good to see you here. Betty Boo, 527 Yankees. How y'all doing? Rabbit of Chaos. Glad to see y'all. Sweaty, Just Jules, how you doing? And that's it. Oh, Kate, good evening. So, guys, as people trickle in, we will. I'll give it a few minutes before we get into the meat and potatoes. So let me just give you. Do you want to add anything, Lynn? Do you want to give them But how about this? I talk too much, guys. It's one of my drawbacks. Let Lynn go ahead and introduce herself and give you guys a little bit of background information. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is Lynn. I am a psychic medium. I've been doing this for many, many, many years. I don't use tools, cards, crystal ball, any of that nonsense. I am able to communicate with those who have crossed over. Again, like John said, anybody that's interested, any questions that you may have, absolutely, please reach out. So anything that I can do to help, I'm here.
I can tell you, I know you all trust my word when it comes to the paranormal. You guys see what I'm doing. I'm telling you right now, when I went live, I was like, we've identified Steve. She identified Steve. I just confirmed it. Okay. Well, Steve identified himself through her because I was adamant. I thought, guys, you guys have been watching me. I've been going to this particular cemetery, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But through those investigations, you guys have heard Steve come through over and over and over again when I investigate the unknown section. And so that was the thing. I got a few numbers, 20 being one of those numbers. So I was under the impression, oh, Steve, he's got to be from that section because I go there a lot. They're unknown. They got to be up. Nope. She hit everything that he passed due to taking his own life, unfortunately. She had all the points that were pointing to him. But then when I got that information from the police department, it was like I'm a skeptic by nature, and I know Lynn does not take that personally. So, it's like
not at all.
So when I said, guess what the name was? She's like, I already know what the name was. But she was right. It was Steve. And so that is just one of the things. That's not good enough for you? Okay, let me go further. Remember when I told you guys about the shadow figure outside of my door? Well, we were supposed to do this show a week ago. And matter of fact, this was a week ago tonight. And what happened? We were practicing the StreamYard the night before, and I was pacing around downstairs, and she noticed a shadow behind me, and she says, "You got a visitor." And I said, "Oh yeah." And Steve, was it Steve? You saw Steve? She's like, "That's not Steve." So she tells me who it is. She says a name. His name's Ray. He's coming through very strong. So she has to tell him, Ray, he will get to you tomorrow. She has to shut the dude. He's like on my glass of the door. Like he's like
tweaking.
Yes, flipping out. Like, hello. Yeah, like it was crazy, guys. Like I saw him, it startled me. So she's like, you got to back off, like he's going to get to you. So if that's not convincing enough, guys, the next day I went out on my porch and that's the last one up. Doesn't have a lot of views, doesn't matter. It's the story behind it that all this time I didn't know who that was at my glass. It was Ray. So when I open up the spirit box, the first thing he says is Raymond. Clear, plain as day, no mistaking it. And so he just wanted to be noticed. He wanted to have a visit. He wanted to be acknowledged. He didn't want to be forgotten. So, hey, Sessa. Okay, good. You're watching. All right. I texted him to make sure he wasn't missing because I know he wanted to watch this one. So
That's my sweetheart.
he's the one he's one of the people responsible for putting us together. There's
It started with your brother.
Yes. Do you want to tell them how we met? Give them. Yeah, all right. Let's back it up, guys. Rewind. Let's talk about how this happened. Okay.
All right. Ready?
He had not reached out to her yet, but somebody else had reached out to her. It was my brother. So go ahead. Tell him what happened.
Well, I was actually in a hotel room and saw a redheaded gentleman walk past me and just looked at me and continued to walk through the wall. Now, normally when I see a stray come along, I know somewhere along the way I'm going to have to reach out to somebody. Somebody's going to be coming that's going to need my help. And I saw him, my daughter saw him, my youngest son saw him. So that was validation that it wasn't just me. And next thing you know, Seth sends me a message and says, hey, I have a friend. He needs to get in contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, no problem. Let me know. Give me the information. And he gave you my information. We got that call. I described the gentleman to you. However, he did not give me a name.
Well, there's more to that, though, too, guys. So we're talking about my brother passing, and she's like, well, where did he pass? I tell her the location. That's exactly where she is. I didn't know that.
The same exact hotel where he passed, the same exact one.
How is that? You see what I mean, guys? Things line up in the spirit world. Now,
and we're not even in the same state. That's the ironic of all of this.
Yeah, we're half a day apart, guys. We're a good 12 hours apart. I had no idea where she was located. No idea. As you can see, she has a New York accent. Okay, so I was thinking north. But it doesn't matter either way. So I send the picture, and I hear her son in real time saying, that's him. I could hear the excitement and the validation when I sent that picture. So
I didn't say anything at first. My 17-year-old son said it. He about jumped out of his skin.
Mm-hmm. And that was the kind of the beginning. So friends in the spirit world, because don't forget, I believe that Steve and my brother have kind of collaborated a little bit. So that's kind of how we met. And since then, like, things have been kind of falling into place. We're working with Steve, but since then, there's been a little bit of a development, guys. So if the people that have been watching my content, about a month ago, my wife and I were at the Bethel churchyard, the one where we frequent at night. And we were gonna do a spirit box session that night. We pull in, and there's a car backed in on the side of the church, and he's backed in. He's literally backed into the cemetery. They drove into where people are laid to rest. So he's already out of sight. So I'm thinking, one, they're either doing something sexual, or they're doing drugs, or they're doing something they shouldn't be doing because they're hiding. Okay, there's no reason to hide unless what, guys? Unless you're doing something that you don't want to be seen doing. So he hits me with this cockamamie story because my wife gets freaked out. So we go to leave, and he goes, I feel like I need to explain. I'm like, you don't need to explain nothing to me. So long story short, they're playing car hide and go seek. Never heard of that before. But another truck pulls in. It's a group of kids. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. I don't know what that is. So this truck pulls in. Another couple of guys get out. They proceed to say, no, we're not a threat. But what are you guys doing? So we say, well, we're up here ghost hunting. And then they're like, oh, well, we do that too. So they proceed to tell me about this Ouija board session they had done in that cemetery, among other things. So that's the night that you guys see the little clip of the video where they open that board, and the spirit says, stop it, and we get told to get out. Since that night, guys,
I haven't seen it.
All hell is broken loose. Like, if I could rewind to that night, I would have backed my car out and just left and never talked to those people, because they said, can we tag along? I said, sure. So I go back to the back corner, the unknown section, and I open the spirit box up, and surprisingly, it's nighttime, and I got nothing, guys. I mean, radio silence. So I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? So I'm like, okay, guys, don't be scared. These are my new friends. If you don't know them, I should have known right there when the guy said, they know us. They know us. And they did. So the only person that came through was Steve. So then we go over to the other side, and they start opening this board, which they thought was a grave. It's not a grave. And it's not a grave at all, actually. In fact, it's an old foundation and the remains of a crematorium. Lots of times those old cemeteries would have a crematorium right there on site, especially the older cemeteries. I mean, because with a lot of disease and things. So that building's no longer there, but the concrete slab is still partially there, and there's a hole that goes. And when you open that up, it doesn't smell like dirt, guys. It smells horrible. It's burnt flesh.
Yeah.
Old burnt flesh. And these guys really disrespected a lot of people up there. So I've had some people that have been not too nice around me. And so I don't know if anybody in the chat or any of the people that said that they were inspired to get a spirit box because of me. Okay, well, tonight the show is kind of dedicated to you guys. And my friend Drazo, this is also a show that he's been waiting on as well, because we're going to talk about the spirit box, guys. We're going to talk about Ouija, so we're going to get into it now. So I know what it looks like, guys. I made it look easy. So what are some of the mistakes? So Lynn, if you don't mind, give them kind of a rundown of why they should be leery of the spirit box, Ouija boards, and things like that.
Okay, first of all, when you're doing a Ouija board, that's a no-go. That's opening up Pandora's box completely. Mm-hmm. With a spirit box, you have to be prepared. No matter what you're toying with, you have to be prepared for something or somebody that you are not comfortable with to come through.
Yes.
The way I've said it, and I say it over and over and over again, I feel like a broken record, but I don't care. I will continue. You keep knocking at Hell's Gate and eventually somebody's going to answer.
Yeah.
Now, if you are an amateur and you do not know what you're doing and you're knocking on that door, on that gate, and you get an answer, how are you closing it? You
That's a
can't.
good question.
You
Because
can't.
guys, I got to tell you, I don't know how to close it. I don't know how to close it, guys. Like, I try not to open up negative stuff. That's one of the things I try to stay away from. But as you can see, despite all that, just being around those people now has me in the hat with them. They think I'm part of their little team of delinquents running around conjuring shit up, and it's just not true. But
Well, no,
to
it's not true. But you also have to understand, and it's like I've also told you, John, when you were there doing your investigations, they are on a totally opposite side where you cannot see them. And it's like I've told you, back when I first saw that one girl, what did I say to you?
very negative person, very negative energy coming off of her. Very negative.
And the first thing I mentioned was Ouija board.
She knew nothing. First off, she had not seen the footage of that because I had not posted it.
No.
And I did post that "Stop It" clip after we talked about this. After, guys,
Yes,
and I could go back and rewind the text and prove it. I know you guys believe me, but so first off, she knew there was a female there besides my wife. There was three guys and one female besides me and my wife. How could she have known that there was a female? How could she have known she was wearing a hoodie? Wasn't even cold, but she had a hoodie on. How'd she know that? But she did. She said the female with the long hair and the hoodie is very, very negative. And it was her first time in that cemetery that night. So she says. But
no, it wasn't. No, it was not. See, she bamboozled you, honey. Sorry, I got to tell you, she bamboozled you because at the time that you were there, they were already there sitting on people's graves, opening up their Ouija board and opening up Pandora's box.
That's
You
what I think they were
introducing
doing.
them, right? You introduced them as your friends. So now, at that point, you were now associated with them. So
I did that. So when I said, these are my friends, guys, I should not have said that. I'm the one who linked myself to them. I should have just said, hey, I just met these people here tonight. They want to watch. If I would have said that, I really think I'd be in a different boat right now. Truly.
Right. Well, now you're guilty by association. And the thing is, the amount of disrespect that has been shown to those plots in this cemetery is disgusting. Sorry, makes me sick to think that somebody could be that disrespectful. What you are getting is nothing compared to what they are getting. And it continues. That disrespect continues. And they have been there showing that disrespect after you've already introduced and said, hey, these are my friends. They're on a different side of the cemetery at nighttime while you're trying to do your thing. So guess what? Now you got both groups in the same cemetery at the same time, one disrespecting, one trying to speak.
So what happened, guys? So we've been discussing this for the last couple of weeks now. So the other night we go to the cemetery and something pops up last minute, literally as we're pulling in. So we leave, and ends up being a big argument between me and this person that evening. And it's for whatever reason, the spirits kept me away from that realm that night. Hey, Steve, how you doing, brother?
What's up, brother?
Lynn, this is my friend Steve. Steve, this is Lynn.
Hi, Lynn.
Steve, nice to meet you.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I've heard a lot about you.
I've been
Uh-oh.
talking about you nonstop.
Don't believe it all.
Only the good stuff. Only the good stuff, right? So, anyways, guys, because of the disrespect, my wife and I went to apologize. We went 2 nights ago to apologize. It ended in me walking backwards with my light on and my wife in tears behind me. That's how it ended, guys. We were there 5 minutes and she was scared so very badly. She was in tears. You guys may remember one of the night videos I did where I go and something runs up on me, and I said I heard footsteps run up on me. It happened to her that night, and if you haven't had this experience, it sounds like you're in the grass, so you hear what sounds like a large person, man or whatever, running towards you. You think you're going to get tackled. That's what it sounds like. And it stops just short of you, and you hear it and you feel the energy. It makes you sick to your stomach. That happened to her. It scared her very badly. So we left. I apologized. Didn't work. Did not work. I need to go back and keep apologizing. I need to keep trying again. Let them know that I'm serious. Let them know I'm not a part of that group. So let's fast forward to last night, guys. So we're at the Pioneer Cemetery last night. And the last time we were there, Drazo, I know you remember this. You remember the woman that was saying the 3 numbers? She kept chanting it, and yeah. I missed some of it. Well, this time I got somebody chanting satanic numbers, not chanting, but repeating them. Add. And then I'm not going to say the numbers. Like, that's what they want me to do. I'm not going to do it. But it's relentless, guys. Relentless. You're going to see. I'm going to release it. This time the last time I chose not to put up the words as they say it, because it's a whisper. It's so clear and relentless this time. So we stay. We're there for about an hour. We get a lot of stuff. We get the Totten kids. Remember the little kid that says his name Totten? The little kid says its name again. That multiple Totten kids. But I have a guy saying, you got it coming. He says, you got it coming. I said, what did I do? What did I do? I said, if I did something, I apologize. I mean, no disrespect. So I got some negatives there. On the way out, it happened to her again. Last night, again, it happened to her. Something chased us. Well, we started getting go over and over and over again. Go, go, go. Sounded like Steve. I said, Steve, if that's you and you want me to leave, be very, very clear. And he says, warning. We left right then and there. You know, because it's, and on the way out, she got chased again. You hear, I wish I could play the footsteps. Guys, it would startle anybody. I don't care how tough of a man you are, how big of a man you are. When you got something from the spirit realm running towards you and you can hear it, it's going to startle you. It may not scare you, but it will make you uncomfortable. And that's,
if I recall correctly, you jumped back, didn't you? In one of the videos?
Was different. I did, but that wasn't the one though. That wasn't when they ran up on me, but it was very similar reaction. Right. I could hear it. And I kind of moved because I felt like somebody was going to slam into me. So Drazo, Lynn, this is a friend of mine who has a spirit box, who was inspired to do that because of my investigations. Hey,
Lisa.
So I just want to, he's been waiting for this. So what would you tell him? The first anybody gets a spirit box, what would be the first thing you would recommend that you would do?
Unless you were a professional and really know what you're doing, do not take a spirit box out and do not try to contact, because you're opening up a portal and you don't know who you're getting.
Right.
It's you don't want to open up. It's the same thing as I said earlier with a Ouija board. You can open up Pandora's box. If you are an amateur and you're getting negativity, how are you able to close that box? Now, yep, John, raise your hand, raise it high. You're not going to be able to close that spirit box or anything coming through as an amateur. You got John now that's got this negativity coming in, and he's been doing this a long time, to what I understand.
Yeah.
I have been doing what I do for a very long time. I'm able to, at this point, guide John to an extent of comfort. But once that box is open, you being by yourself as an amateur and you got that coming in, what's going to happen? It's going to scare the bejeebers out of you. That's what they feed on.
Yes.
Right.
Not only do they feed on that, they can put thoughts into your head. They can drain your energy.
Oh, yeah.
And if you get certain ones, they can harm you. So you have to be very, very careful using any equipment.
Okay.
Whatsoever. You have to be very careful. Me personally, if I didn't do what I do, I wouldn't touch a spirit box. I won't touch a spirit box. I won't touch a Ouija board. That's bad juju's.
Okay, so my past experience has started since I was a child, where I was able to see ghosts, basically.
I see dead people too. I get it.
So even for someone who has an experience, seeing dead people and able to communicate and things like that, you still wouldn't recommend it?
I wouldn't. That's me personally. I mean, you always have free will.
Yeah.
You always have free will. I can only do and say what I know. It's like me telling you, hey, don't put the headphone on your ear, don't smoke a cigarette. You could, it can cause cancer, but you have that free will to pick up that cigarette, to, put the headphone and burn yourself if that's what it takes. That's your free will. Me personally, I would not do it. And we do have a question, what kind of harm? You can be scratched, you can be burned, you can be pushed.
But the mental games that they play, much worse.
Thank you. I was getting to that. Thank you. Yep. They can toy with your emotions. They can toy with you mentally. And if you collect negative ones, they can even, in fact, push you to the point where you harm yourself. They can push you to suicide.
Wow.
So that's where you have to be very careful in knowing. I mean, you said you see ghosts. I see them. I speak to them. I smell them a lot of times in the reading. I get names. They'll tell me or show me how they passed, or I will feel it. It's not something, like I said, I would do. I would not open up a spirit box. I will not open up a Ouija board. I will not open up a realm for anything negative to come through.
Well, I understand. I get it. I understand what he wants to do. He wants to contact some family and really Lynn could help you with that. But like I think that she could really help you with that. But I know that he really wants to try the spirit box. So I think maybe I'm gonna try to maybe ease him into it slowly. But like you're already teaching me things about protection that I had no clue about. So like before I wish I would have done before I got started. But see, now I can pass those things on to Steve, and he can, because
Absolutely.
this is Steve too. So I can help him, you know, safeguard himself. Because I really do think that he's like me. He has the positive intentions and wants to do good with this and help people. So it's another person on the good side. You know what I mean? On the positive
Right.
side.
Of
Right.
course. Of
But,
course. And I get that completely. Now, John, I have worked with you for a few weeks now on the protection thing. I get the, you know, anxiety of really wanting to do this, the excitement, the whole 9 yards. Do it together.
that was, yeah,
Do it
that's
together. Your first time, if
That's
this
what
is
we
what
talked
you,
about.
right,
That's a good idea.
definitely do it together.
That's a good idea, and that's something that's very possible too. We could, you know, we can make that happen, bro. Like we're
Yeah.
I'm gonna be actually. I got something in the works for the channel to where I'm gonna start going to a place monthly. Once a month, I'm gonna go out of state to a place to investigate. So
Yeah, because we're about 12 hours driving distance from each other. He's in Ohio, I'm in New York.
we have a plan. We
New
already
York.
have a plan where we're going to go. We've already spoken about this. So
Yeah.
you know, so it's meant to be. See, the fact that you said that, it's a validation for me that that's the way to go. Then we should be doing this. We'll work on it together. You know, strengthen
Together.
numbers. And I also have. But see, here's the thing, guys. I have Steve. Steve has helped when it comes to, like, can you ask them to slow down? One at a time, say their names. But at the Pioneer Cemetery, I don't get much Steve. And there's a reason for that.
He's outnumbered because of the negativity that was opened up. Steve is outnumbered. He can only do as much as he can. It's
Right.
kind of like, you know, I gave John an example. It's like my son going and beating the brakes off of John, and his wife sitting back saying, "This is a big kid. I can't handle this kid. What am I going to do?" It's the same thing. He can only do so much, but he can't pull in the full force of protection that you need.
He screamed go. He just screamed go. I wasn't getting, guys, I did yesterday morning. I went to, the first place I went to was the Camp Dennison Civil War battlegrounds. Then I went to the Mosquito Cemetery. Then I went to another cemetery. All three of those, I get Steve, Steve-O, Steven, Steve-O. Hey, can you say Steve-O? Steve-O. You know, like over and over and over again. Last night, I barely hear from him. So when she literally didn't know that, because I had not edited that yet. I had only started editing that a couple of hours ago. So we talked about that last night. She told me he was out. See, guys, I'm telling you, if you want a reading, I'm serious. This is the person that you get a reading
Somebody
from.
may be getting one tonight because I'm hearing, I've got somebody yakking in my ear, and I'm really trying to tune them out, but somebody's going to be getting a reading tonight. I don't know who this person is, but I'm hearing, I'm getting the name Carl, and there's something about the number 17 that's significant with this name.
What was the first?
So,
what was it? Carl?
What happened?
Did you say Carl?
Carl. And the number 17 is very clear. So there's something significant about the number 17. And I just got to put that out there. I don't know who it's for because, like I said, it's just yapping in my ear, and I'm really trying to tune them out at the moment. And for about a month, I keep asking, "Who's Debbie? Who's Debbie?" So I don't know if this is somebody connected. I don't know if it's a full circle here, but I'm getting the name Carl tonight and the number 17.
Okay. If that strikes a chord, don't hesitate.
Please let us know.
Raise your virtual hand in the chat and let us know. You know, it's also keep that in mind. the people that are in this chat watching this, because a couple of things that she told me were future things that happened within a couple of days of her talking to me about that. And then it happens. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize that lines up, so always remember that too, because when you tap into that energy, sometimes I guess maybe do you get readings in the future too? Is that a common thing, or is it?
Yes, I can do that. They'll give me things in the present. And one thing I will own is I'm very confident in my readings. Very confident. As you know, I've done it for you. The only thing is my timing to me is off. So I will always give anywhere from a month to a year ahead of what I'm feeling.
It's so, yeah, guys.
Some days it happens that day, and sometimes it happens a week, a month, 6 months, whatever. Then I'll get a client to come back and validate, hey, this is what happened.
She's being very humble, guys, because she's a lot more on point than I'm telling you. She's very humble. When she's given that time frame, it's more like this much, not this much, this much. Just saying. That's what I've experienced. No, I mean, it's gonna, if you've experienced the Steve stuff, like she argued with me. She's like, nope, he's not from the unknown section. Nope. I'm like, but I'm telling you, I think because he keeps saying, she's like, nope, I'm telling you, you're wrong. I'm right. And no, she wasn't saying it like that, but she was like, no, I'm telling you, he's
confident.
Very confident. Yeah. She's like, I'm telling you, he's telling me this is what it is.
Hey, Johnny, JFid seems to have a connection to a call whose jersey number was 17.
See?
Okay, is there a Carl involved? Is there a Carl? I have to know if there's a Carl.
Yeah.
That's connected to him.
So she knows a Carl, and that's his jersey number 17. That's cool. Yeah.
Okay, so she's getting a reading.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, his name is Carl. Was Carl. Okay, so he's passed. So that's, wow. There you go, guys.
And I texted you in the elevator today, this afternoon, and I said to you, I said, John, somebody's getting a reading tonight. I'm getting the name Carl, and there's a number 17 that's associated. And if you want to go ahead and screenshot that and put that up in the time, please do.
4:52 p.m., guys. I feel someone may be getting a reading tonight. I have a Carl coming in, a very clear number of 17. This comes through at 4:52, guys. I will, for all the doubters out there, I will put it in my community tab after the show. I got to redact the phone number and all that. But yes, there you go. I'm telling you guys, it's real. Like, she can talk to these people. She spoke to my brother. As you guys know, my brother passed from fentanyl, and where he passed was in a hotel room, exactly where she is, and
the same hotel I was at.
Wow.
So what he's doing, I don't need to share the details of that, but for her, she has his personality so well. She knows him like as well as I do. He's a very acquired taste type of guy. He's got a certain personality, and he's a ball breaker too, which she knows.
Yes, very much so.
So she got that so clearly. It gave me the chills, and I got very choked up over that. And
check out JFid's message.
There you go. Tell him I acknowledge him. He is missed, and Mike loves him.
Okay, see, now here's the thing. I can tell him that. And there are certain things that I don't think people really understand is you can tell them and they hear you. Anybody can tell a loved one, I love you, I miss you,
Yes.
I know you're here. They hear you. You don't have to say it out loud. You can say it mentally. They still hear you.
Thank you, Kate. Yes,
So
absolutely.
it's, you know,
That can be
it's
proven. I can prove
what,
that, Lynn. I can prove that because I
yes.
did that. You told me to, first off, you told me to ask Steve to come through as Steve-O. He comes through as Steve-O now. Also, I said he's my bud at one location. An hour later, he says Steve-O, bud. He said Steve, bud. So he's acknowledging you're my bud.
Johnny, Tab says to read you a text.
Oh, okay. Is she in? Oh, there we are. Dropped it.
Yeah, she's in chat. She's just leaving the building. So, Lynn, I have a question. So, let's say I do get into the paranormal and dealing with the spirit box and all. So, around my neck is my mom's ashes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good protection?
That is a form of protection. I, after the show or whatever, I can communicate with you through the phone or whatever. I can give you different forms and different ways to protect yourself as well.
Right
Great.
there, guys. Here is, if you want to reach out to Lynn, here is her email right here. Write it down, take a screenshot. It's going to go into my community post too. I'll post the screenshot of her message earlier, and I'll put her email in the community, and I'll put it in the description. So I want you guys to have these tools. Like, this is why I'm doing this. You're going to see part of my video, and I've already sent a clip to a few people. Like, this is what I'm going to do now. Like, I have people coming to my home, knocking on my back door, asking for my help, and they're spirits. This is what I have to do. How can I say no to that? If I'm able to do that for these people, that's a special thing. And that's what I'm doing now.
But there's something, John, actually, that I do want to make very clear. And this is for somebody, whether they're using any tools, spirit box, or any of the above. If you hear knocking at a door, at a window, and you're looking and nobody is there, do not open that door, because that's an invitation for something that you may not want.
Yeah. Luckily, it was Ray.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen that,
I had to back him off. So he was, I hate to use the term, but he was tweaking, trying to really get your attention.
He startled the living shit out of me, guys. Like, when I have to walk past that door to go up the steps to go to bed at night, and walking by that, I saw a blacker than black shadow figure standing outside the door, but pinned right up on the glass. And if let's just say, if somebody that had a weaker heart, that would have been a cardiac arrest moment right there. Like, it
Absolutely.
was that. Oh man, it was one of those very unnerving, startling things. But she didn't know that. She didn't know that. And she didn't know that a few days later, I'm putting the stick in the door, in the basement sliding door. And I'm thinking about what happened a couple days before that, and the light blows, and it goes, and it's dark all of a sudden. She didn't know that
I mentioned the light to you. I asked you what happened. What's with the light?
I forgot that. Well, that's what happened. It blew. It blew in the basement. I was thinking about Ray when he was at that door, and right as I was thinking about that, while I was in the creepy basement that my kids moved out of, so it's a big empty space now, and it's dark, and so I was thinking about that happening, him being at the door, and right as I was thinking about it, the freaking light blew, and I thought it was my wife at the top of the steps, like, messing with me. So I'm yelling up. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. I'm like, what are you doing up there? And she's like, huh? I'm like, did you just cut the light on me? Did you just shut the light? She says, She's like, no. I'm like, and then I hit the switch and it, no light. So I was like, oh, the light blew. And so I knew that was whoever that was blew that light. The energy blew the light right there. And
right. But when I asked you about the light, you couldn't validate at that
it
moment.
hadn't happened yet.
But I didn't know about the light. You never told me.
That's right. See, guys, like we talk about so much other random stuff. But that's what happened with the light. But see, they can do that because they fried my freaking camera, guys. I had a brand new night vision camera and it fried. I took it to the unknown section, the one that we just got run out of, literally. And my camera's fried. It's done. I gotta buy it.
It gives them energy. It gets different things, electronics, whether it be a light bulb or a battery or what have you, it gives them energy. And the thing is, it takes a lot of the energy for them to manifest, for them to communicate. Even when I do readings, they will suck the energy out of me doing a reading. Sometimes they come in very strong, very clear, and my energy is good. But when it's not a strong spirit or anybody that's coming in, they suck me dry of my energy. And it's like, little bits and pieces of information will come out. And it's like taking a 5,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, throwing it in the air and saying, okay, put it together. You're looking, going, do I really want to do that?
Yeah.
It drains your energy completely. When I do readings, and I will put this out there while we are live, I have no problem doing readings, but I try to keep it to a minimum of 3, maybe 4 a day because of the energy it does take for both myself and the spirit world to come through.
And guys, it's taxing. Just real quick, if you haven't felt that, to me, and they've drained me before at the churchyard, it feels like you've been in the sun all day. You know how the sun really takes it out of you? Like you just feel totally just wiped. And it's like you're walking underwater. You don't have any energy. It's just you're totally just zapped. That's what it feels like. But it can just come on. They can drain you very quickly to where it's shocking the way they can make you feel. I've never experienced it to this level till recently. So like I can't imagine them, what you have to go through, having them being able to come through, because just the taste that I've gotten, man, you got to be prepared, y'all. It's not something that you can just take lightly. It is.
Absolutely. Especially if they're coming through and they're allowing you to feel what they felt before they passed is double whammy.
You did. Oh, yeah. This was pointed out. And I forgot to mention this too. There is a point where if you watch that video, guys, like Lisa caught it, he's saying he's saying he's safe. Because my mother-in-law kind of guards my house. Okay. Steve's allowed in because Steve has her blessing to come in. Ray was not granted access. He was asking our permission, and he was trying to kind of soft soak my wife a little bit and kind of go through her. I'm safe. Don't worry. Can I come in? Because I wasn't going to have it. I already said that in my mind. He knew that. And Lynn had already told him the night before, you can't come in that home. You have to stay outside. That's your space. You cannot enter that space. So he was going for her permission at that point. She caught that. And I don't think Ray is negative. I think Ray just wanted to be acknowledged, wanted to visit, and he was just pushy about it. Some people are a little more assertive or aggressive than others, and I think that's what it was. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Ray is Ray is definitely not negative. He has a story. He has a message. I haven't tapped into Ray, which I feel bad. I will try to tap in to see what that message is. Just like I tapped into Steve-O, we got that message and have to figure out how we're going to work through that one. Ray is not negative, but he's pushy about getting that message through. Now, the thing with Ray is coming through as he was here in the physical world. It's like right now, in the moment, I have to get it done. He's got to understand not everybody is on that timeline at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to help him. Like, that's the whole mission here. That's the whole reason for, I got into it to, the ghost hunt and do the channel. But after meeting Steve, and I mean really meeting him, because I have a relationship with him, a true friendship, because he's real. He's a person just without a body. If you go look at the content. If you don't believe me, go look at the content, guys. I could turn the spirit box on right now and say, "Can you say Steve-O?" He'll say it. He'll say it. The sound quality would be shit with the over the speaker, but you probably will. I mean, he says it over and over again, guys. I mean, I don't think anybody doubts that. That has really changed me. Like it's given me a new respect and a perspective on life. It's just not what I thought it was. It's so they can
Don't
come
be
through
afraid.
anywhere. No, there is some.
I'm reading Maya's message. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. I talk about this a lot. You know what I think it is? I think a lot of it is the Hollywood programming that they do to people. They expect a monster or a demon to always pop out from around the corner. And that's just not what happens. I mean, they're
that's
negative?
For ratings. A lot of these ghost shows, and I'm going to make it clear, and I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, but hey, tomato, tomato. It's for ratings.
It is.
A lot of it is for ratings. Believe half of what you see and really none of what you hear, so to speak, when it comes to those shows.
I told you, Sweaty. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit very briefly. I can tell you that they can go wherever they want. If you go, he'll go with you. He'll go with you.
They can be in two places at one time. Not sure if anybody was aware of that, but they can be in two places at one time.
Well, I mean, I like, see, now this is the type of conversation I like to get into. So let's talk theory then. So if you are in energy form, right, you're basically plugged into just the energy that exists, that exists, period. So if you're plugged into that energy and you're not limited to the vessel of a body, you should be able to know what's going on here, and here, all at once. So that's what I believe that from what I've learned, that's called the Akashic record. That's one of the names for it. And it's just the timeline of life and of existence and everything of being that's happening and all of that. And when you and what I've learned, what I've kind of like come to believe in just learning through my own experiences, that when you lose your body, when you drop your body, you are then plugged back in. It's like when people have those near-death experiences and then they say, well, I knew the answers without having the act to ask. I just was like automatically, I knew, like without knowing. It just, I was plugged into the ultimate wisdom and knowledge of like the infinite wisdom and knowledge. And so that's my belief on that. It seems to be validated over and over again with other people's experiences and just from talking to spirits. They validate that stuff.
Right. Okay, so Sweaty, honey, whether you sell your home or not, he is attached to you. He's not attached to the home. So
That's right.
wherever you go, he's going to be there. There's my sass. I think I blew his socks off at one point as well. He
That was
has been my biggest skeptic that I have ever read for is Sessa right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sass, I'm putting you on the spot tonight, but he was my biggest skeptic. And I think I creeped him out a little bit because he changed the subject and we just got to chopping it up after that for hours.
He's not, he's the type of guy that it's not easy to bullshit him. You know,
Nope.
you can't bullshit a bullshitter. But he's not a dummy. Let's just put it that way. He's very street savvy. So he's going to recognize a hustle long before the average person. And if you can make him a believer, you got my attention. Let's just put it that, which you already did anyway. So
I do have to share. Love you, Sass. I'm putting you on the spot again, honey. He gave me a false name. And I called him out. I knew it wasn't his name, but I just went with it anyways. At the end of our conversation, he did validate that he gave me a different name.
I'm fixing to, so I can, yeah, you should. It's because that's what's important, you know, like, and that's one of the other things I put into this video. It's like the things that people think are important are just so very insignificant. You know, like it's arguing with people on social media, things like that, just so insignificant to real life and what's important. It's such a waste of time. You know, it's so I try to like reiterate that in these videos now. So people, anybody that, you know, want some real content like this is something that you would think would capture everybody's attention. We all are gonna die one day, right? And, I mean, at some point in everybody's life, these are the things that we think about, right? Does the body, does our consciousness continue? You know, what happens? You know?
Sweaty, sorry, John. Sweaty, he wants you to be close to your daughter. Because at this point, with you being far away from her, you kind of, with him being gone and your daughter being in a certain area, you feel lonely, and that's not what he wants for you. He does want you to be closer to her, and he's giving a thumbs up, and he's telling you, go for it. Do not look back. You're not going that way, he says. Go for it.
You'll see. I have a feeling very shortly after moving, you're going to get validation that he's still with you. I think he's going to validate you every step of the way. I do. You know, it's good. Sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely, he's not going to leave her side at all.
Yeah. See, that's it. I told you didn't want to miss this one. I wanted her to hear this live. I messaged her earlier to make sure.
Wait. Hey, John, remember at one point I asked you who Chris was?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Found him. Got him.
So guys, I'm telling you, like this is a small, just what's really weird, guys, is just by people being connected through the phone, the internet, us talking virtually. It's bizarre how all the spirits in our lives are all around gathering. They're watching and listening all this right now. It's a fact. Like Steve is sitting, I guarantee you he's right here next to me listening. You know, if I turned on the spirit box, he would validate that. You know, it's I'm very passionate about it. Like Drazo, I talk his ear off because I want him to know. I want him to know, though, what I know. I want him to feel what I feel. I want you to experience what I'm feeling. You know,
he's able to take on what you're feeling.
I do.
He's able to feel joy, happiness. He's able to feel whatever it is that you're feeling at the time, whatever it is you're doing, especially when it pertains to him. He's able to feel that. And that gives him the energy that he needs to feel just as good about it as you do.
Yep. We had a personal conversation earlier this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, him and I, we both know where each of us is coming from. He knows that I got his back as much as I know he's got my back.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So
she's trying to get on the panel. For some reason says she's getting that something went wrong message on StreamYard. Tab's trying to get on. She's on the way home. So if she can't get on, she'll be here in a few minutes, and she'll be right next to me. So
yeah, that was one of my big questions about when people pass on, do they come with you? And for some reason, I always knew that.
mm-hmm.
So why I even questioned it myself?
It's just for validation.
They come
you know
with
what?
you,
Everybody
no matter
needs
where you're at.
some kind of validation.
Yeah.
And, as ironic as this sounds, I kind of chuckle at myself about it a little bit, but I've also told John, I am a medium. I've done this for many, 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 many years, and I'm a skeptic. And unless you're throwing something at me that I can validate that only I'm going to know, I'm not going to bother. So, me being a medium, I'm a skeptic. What do we have here?
So this is Sweaty. So Sweaty also found her father deceased, and it really traumatized her. We've talked about this a little bit. I of course I would never. She's saying it now, so like she, because she's speaking to you, Lynn. But like these are the things I wish I could have helped her with. So I'm glad that these are.
Johnny, give me a wrench, please.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Well, and that's the thing. People in the spirit world, not just the spirit world, but God as well, is going to bring you who and what you need at the time that you need them. And they will find a way or work a way to make it happen.
They do.
Yes. I mean, it's the same thing on how we met. So I'm really happy that she has somebody that, was able to do that for her and with her.
Yeah, it's this is what I wanted to do, y'all. Like this is so much more fulfilling. But I did want to express tonight. I don't want to lose that that point because I know we got a lot of good messages going on here. I've also had experienced the negative side of this stuff too, and I don't want people to fall into that trap and have a problem. Like I don't consider what I have a problem. I consider it a slight irritants that can be dealt with.
The hiccup.
That's it.
Hiccup.
But I can tell you, you guys know, you've seen me on social media. I got very thick skin. I think you all know that. So as far as this stuff, it's like it almost prepared me for this. But it's for somebody that scares easily, they would have literally went insane already. And it's so you gotta be very careful.
You do. You really do. And that's, I mean, like I said, I don't use and I don't do what you guys do. And that's okay. Everybody has their different ways of communication. And my concern is for those who are amateurs that don't know what they're stepping into. That is my concern.
I made it look easy. I did. I made it look like, it's not a big deal. Turn the box on. You get a couple of, people come through. Nothing bad really happened.
Everything ready to go.
Yeah, he's got everything. He's had a spirit box and equipment for a week, at least a week now. It's been sitting here.
Yeah.
There you go. Do it together. Do it
And I got the
together. Do
EMF.
not do it by yourself. Do it together for a little bit.
Yeah.
That is my advice.
Yes, I'm very, very glad that
Should he be with me, or like can we be on the phone together, or?
You mm, it's going to be more
What do you?
beneficial if you're together.
Okay, enough said.
Right.
Enough
Okay.
said.
I would rather you two be together because John already knows. I've guided him through many different ways of protection and all of the above.
Right.
So before you go on your own and go ahead and start experimenting, have John walk you through what I've walked him through, share, and then go from there.
The hell was that?
I don't know.
Balloons.
Balloons just went.
A bunch of balloons just went up on the screen.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. I didn't even do anything.
Oh, that's cool.
That was
I don't
weird.
know how that happened. I've never seen that before.
No, neither have I.
No, I'll make a special trip. We'll plan something so we can get this
Even
going.
if you meet in the middle,
Yeah, we could always do that too.
meet in the middle and pick an area that neither one of you have been to and try that.
Let's do Gettysburg, bro. We got Mike right there in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay,
right?
now I'm jealous.
I've
always wanted to walk through Gettysburg. Now I'm jealous.
It's one of those bucket list places. I mean, it's about like 9 hours from me, but come on, any historical places like that, I'm in. You know, we got the Civil War stuff here, and matter of
You're
fact,
gonna blow up with activity and evidence.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's coming. You heard it here first, both of you. Buckle up, Buttercup.
I'll take it.
Buckle up.
Listen, I got mom with me every day, so
Absolutely.
she doesn't leave my side. She's always next to me. I always feel her. I always feel it. She passed like gonna be 2 years.
Now you smell her, correct?
All the time.
All the time. Okay. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is the heart or cancer, but I feel something where I feel like I'm having a hard time breathing. And I don't like when they do this. But she's making me feel like she can't breathe. Can you validate that?
No, she they actually sedated her. She had cirrhosis of the liver, non-alcoholic.
But there's something with sedating her. Now they intubated her, correct?
No, they
No?
put I forgot what the hell they gave her.
If they sedated her, that did they put her on a respirator?
No, they had monitors on her, but she had
Hey, Tab.
They gave her morphine to make her comfortable.
Okay, because I'm getting the feeling that I can't breathe. So
she was breathing fine until the end.
What happened? I didn't hear that.
She was breathing fine until the end. When she
so
passed,
that could be where the hard time breathing is coming from.
Probably. Either that or maybe because I have her face tattooed to my chest.
Oh, wow. Right over your lungs.
That's amazing. I love that.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, Tab.
But there's that feeling because she's telling me she couldn't breathe. She couldn't breathe.
Yeah, she was breathing the whole time. So they gave her the morphine Saturday afternoon around 2, and then she passed on Sunday on the 11th of December in 2022 at just around 12 o'clock.
Did she like not gain consciousness again after they gave her the morphine? She just stayed like
no, she slept through the whole thing, and she died in her sleep.
Yeah, that's how my wife's stepdad, like they gave him, he was obviously at the end stages. Once they administer some of those meds and you're at that late stage and you're getting ready to pass, once they give you the meds, that's it. It just tanks you and you don't wake up again. It's so
But
yeah.
also, it not only that, but it also labors the breathing.
It suppresses your respiratory.
That's the feeling that I'm getting from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
would be
was
like
gonna say that.
it would be like a sleep paralysis type of feeling. Yeah, it's from an opiate.
It
So
was
yeah,
weird though, because when she was sleeping, she kept laughing and moaning in her sleep.
Really?
Yeah. It was kind of
What?
comforting. Like, even though like I knew like her time was up and the monitors were going to go off and she was going to be gone, but it was funny because as she was sleeping, she was making all these weird noises.
And the laughing.
Yeah.
well, that's
Did
good.
you
Laughing's
have
good.
a sibling that crossed over before her?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like her sibling came to meet her, and I feel like that's who she was seeing, and kind of cracking jokes.
I probably would not say that because they didn't have the best relationship.
Even though they didn't have the best relationship in the physical world, on the other side, things are different.
Very
Oh
different.
yeah.
It's not the same on the other side.
Mm.
It's like that's the thing that my wife. I don't know if she's like she doesn't have it. Do you know if you kind of scroll the screen down a little bit, you'll see the mute button. I don't know if you're muted, Tab. She can attest to that. She sees a lot of people like reaching out to people that aren't there. Well, she not anymore, but she used to be around a lot of people that would pass. In fact, she used to have to like wash them up and then put them in the body bag and all that. So, but she would
My
see that a
dad
lot.
went into fetal position before he passed.
Hey, there's the dancer.
Ha-
Give me a
What
sec.
happened? Oh, you're good.
Yeah, no, my daughter just walked in, a little dancer. Let me see your award.
Tab, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
I just wanted to make sure that you had a connection. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yep, I'm here. I'm just listening, driving home.
So yeah, do you want to add anything like like you've seen that a lot with people interacting with family members to come to greet them at the end? I know that we've talked about this, so I mean I know like I'm kind of giving it away, but I know that you've seen that.
Yeah, no, I think, I talked about that before, that I commonly see them like talking to a loved one that's gone. I mean, I've had 90-year-olds before, like talk to their mothers or, when right before they pass. So I was also going to chime in when Lynn was talking about the breathing, and they were talking about the morphine, because we actually give morphine to help like suppress the respiratory system when people, I mean, we give it for lots of reasons, but it does obviously suppress their respiratory system. So that kind of made sense to me also when Lynn was saying that.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you for validating that, honey, because a lot of times, um, saying it, I got it as, having a hard time breathing, don't know if it had something to do with the heart, with the lungs, some kind of cancer. But I was getting that feeling of not being able to breathe. And I'm not in the medical field, so I can only give what they give me. And a lot of people, sometimes when I put that out there, they're not able to validate that. So thank you for clarifying that.
Oh, you're welcome, Lynn. I was gonna say, before I became a nurse, and like I don't want to see. John and I used to watch like John Edwards, and we've like watched
Right.
psychics or mediums before. And I would think too, when they would say things like that, just like you said, the heart, the lungs, there's so many other systems in your body and other reasons that you might not be breathing well, or could feel like somebody's short of breath. or not, whether they appear that way or not, there's a lot of things toward the end of life that start shutting down. I mean, even your kidneys, because you could fill up with fluid, that
Yep.
would make
Right.
somebody not be able to breathe toward the end. So, no
Right.
problem in validating that.
Yep.
Okay. So that was, but the morphine I did not know. I assumed, but wasn't sure. But all I knew is I was having a hard time catching my breath. That was awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. I heard you had a great day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she got me crying over here.
Aww.
Yeah.
I miss
Now
those
that's
days.
love.
Mhm.
I miss having our little dancer.
I know. I told him about that. I missed
Come
going
on,
to
you messing
dance
my
and those.
hair up.
No, your hair was
Recitals.
messed up. I'm trying to fix it. It was like in the front
It's
like
okay.
that.
It's fine.
He had a big recital day today, Tab. Remember the end of the year recital when it's an all day?
Yeah, and she got an award.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Very
It was
nice.
great.
Congratulations. I
She
do
got
want
7
to address
years.
Coffee real quick. Coffee,
Okay.
it's not uncommon to be able to hear their voice after they have passed. I have heard a lot of people that I have read for have mentioned that they have heard their loved ones' voices just as they passed, and that's not uncommon.
I heard my mom's voice.
Is it common
Yep.
to see ghosts?
Is a comment?
It's,
Yeah.
I looked it up. I was looking up stuff about that, and from what I understand, that's something referred to as after-death communication for like
Yes.
immediately up to
Yeah.
like maybe a year or two, like after they pass, they come through. They come. They visit people and communicate, and they let people know that they're okay. They validate, or they try to at least. Some people are open to it, some aren't. But
So
that's
Absolutely.
my daughter, she sees ghosts too.
So does my 17-year-old son. He's a reader as well.
Oh wow.
So it was passed down. The good thing with him is I am working with him and teaching him how to use that gift and not to fear it.
Right.
So we work every day, and John can tell you he's heard me talk to my son, and where my son will say, "Mom, I had a vision. Mom, So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, honey.
so. Wasn't
Nah, she's not.
my brother did he kind of spook them, both of your kids, I thought, right? Didn't my brother kind of like
He
make
startled them because they were not expecting that. And
Yeah.
he gave my youngest son sleep paralysis. And of course, I kind of told my son, "Oh no,
Yeah.
you didn't see. That's not what you saw. That's not what you saw." He knew what he saw. I was looking at him when he saw it. I was looking at your brother, but I didn't want Joe, who's my son, to get spooked.
I heard his
So I was
reaction.
kind of like, oh, maybe it's, but no, it was him.
I sent the picture when we spoke about it that night, and I heard his response when he saw the picture, guys. Like he was like, "That's him! That's him! Oh, that's him!" Like he was like
He was
really,
hyped up.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
definitely
that was
hyped up.
and that was really I needed that. So like that started off the whole relationship with a bang. Like and then to nail his personality. But
I love his personality. I got to say, it's one of the greatest. I think it's amazing.
you would vibe with him. You would vibe with him. I know.
do.
Yeah, I can tell. He's what he's doing, guys. I mean, I can share. I mean, well, should I share what he's doing?
I think
If you're
you should.
comfortable.
What'd you say, Tab?
I mean, it's really up to like you and Lynn. I know she's been like counseling
Hold on.
you on a lot of those things. I was gonna say you might want to keep that one for yourself, just
Okay.
knowing like
Yeah, I'm
your
gonna keep that one. I'm gonna keep that.
personality, you know, and things like that. But it's really, I wanted to ask Lynn a question though about the sleep paralysis. You know, I've only ever seen that like on TVs or some of the shows we've watched with people are, you know, telling their stories of accounts, and I feel like every time I've seen like people who have seen somebody when they're having sleep paralysis, it's always not a pleasant thing. So my question, I guess, is like when spirits come through, like John's brother, for example, you said he gave your son sleep paralysis. Is that
Okay.
a common thing, or are they doing that like maliciously? I've only ever
No,
seen
it's
it like
not.
malicious.
Yeah, it's not a malicious intent. With my Joe, the sleep paralysis was like, "Yo, bro, I'm here. Who are you?" type thing.
Okay. Yeah, because I actually, that was something that I had wondered at one point. I think I was going to ask, but we were so deep in this another topic at the time, it kind of just slipped my mind. But you know, like I think that's just another way they can catch your attention or come through and kind of affect you without like hurting you. I guess you know they can catch your
Right?
attention.
Yeah, and they do that, and that's exactly my Joe had it, and that was to catch his attention. Like, "Yo, bro, I'm here. Who are you?" type thing. You know, kind of. It was kind of like a, "I've never seen you around here before." Just checking him out type thing. But then knowing that we saw him, it was, and he looked me dead in my eyes
Yeah, I
as
remember.
he walked past me, looked me dead in my eyes, and he knew I saw him.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. It's all I remember is when your son saw that picture, and that
Yeah.
really just that made my year. I'm telling you that was a
Well,
great.
when my daughter saw it, and pardon my language, but when my daughter saw it, because she had seen him as well, standing behind her in the mirror watching her. Now, my daughter's a cute little thing, and he was watching. And when she saw his picture, her exact words, right or wrong, John, was, "Holy shit, that's the guy I saw.
Told you.
That's the guy
Oh,
that was behind me watching me."
yep, yep. He was a flirty,
Oh
an
yes, he was.
overly flirty type of guy. Borderline, not pushy. Like he's not that he wouldn't victimize women, but he would come on a little maybe too strong. You know,
I mean, he was a salesman. You really had to know him.
there you
Like
go.
his
There you go.
personality this day and age would be questionable, but back then it really wasn't. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah,
I mean, he was good at his job. So it explains a lot of what's
in
come through in his
sales.
personality that Lynn shares with
Oh,
you. You
he
know what
could
I mean?
sell a child back to their own mother.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. That was a day and age where like telemarketing was huge. And
Oh, yeah.
he was making money hand over fist back then when
yep,
the market was dying down. It was crazy. He was getting so many sales and so much work. That was his personality.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
He was a hustler.
Well, that personality is still there. And, you know, that's the thing is, and we were talking about it earlier, is if they don't get along in the physical world, they will get along in the spiritual world.
I've heard that before. I have heard that several times. Really, a lot of it's come from with my dying patients. Like, you know, when family members are there and they're seeing them reach out for loved ones that are not there. You know, it's scary if you've not experienced it
Yeah,
before. And a lot of times they think they're hallucinating, and you know, so when
No.
we're talking to them about like natural things that happen when you're passing, and you know you're trying to explain to the family what's going on and things, that's what I would hear sometimes. Oh, really? Well, she keeps calling so and so's name and they couldn't even stand to be in the same room for more than 5 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, it's a common thing. So that is
yep.
what I've heard, you know.
Right. Okay. Yes, cardinals are definitely
Uh,
a sign of your loved ones being around. Just know when you see them, cardinals and doves are a sign of loved ones that come to visit.
Somebody else mentioned cardinals too here recently as well. So okay,
I
cool.
I
get
said it
them.
to you the other day when I was in my yard. There was a cardinal.
Yes,
Okay, that was
that's
your mom coming through. But cardinals, yes, cardinals will come through, and they are your loved ones that do come through. I get my mom and dad daily. When my dad first passed, a cardinal literally in the morning would tap on the window and wake me up. I would get up, I would make coffee, try to get myself together. And in the evening time before bed, the same cardinal would come to the back window where I would be and tap on my window
that's amazing.
daily for about 2 months. So they're not uncommon. Cardinals and doves.
And that's I've heard that a lot. So I mean, it's knowing what I know now. Like it's so weird because all the stuff that I've questioned in the past, could that be a sign? Was it? And I start to think, was that real, or was I just going crazy? Now I know, like that I shouldn't be second guessing it. Really, because it's it is real. Like the stuff that I can't express that enough. The stuff that I've caught is so like mind blowing to me and just life changing. So like
Right.
and the reason I got into it originally, the reason I started this channel and started investigating to this level, because like I said, my wife and I, we've been investigating for years, going to haunted bed and breakfast and stuff. But being is that I have early stage 4 non-alcoholic cirrhosis, I'm still relatively healthy, but when you get hit with something like that, it makes you start to you have a mortality check and you want those answers, right? So you start looking into those things, and I thought that was going to be the big like hurdle, that it was going to be hard to get over, getting those answers. I got those answers the first spirit box session. Does life continue on after you pass? Yes. It's like I
Yes, it
get that
does.
redundantly. And just knowing that, having Steve come through like that, those answers are already like known, and they came through so fast. So like I had to change my direction. Okay, I got the answers like that. So what do I do now? Where do I go with this channel? And that's when, I got Ray showing up. Been so busy with people. You remember Tom that keeps coming through over and over again? No Tom. All morning yesterday, 3 different places, no Tom. Then we went to the Pioneer Cemetery, no Tom. I don't know if he's backed off because of the negative Nelly that's around
Yes.
running amok.
Yes.
But okay, because no Tom. I don't know where Tom, and I know Tom's one that wants help because he keeps coming
And that's
through.
the thing, is your originals that come through on a constant basis with the negativity that is there, it will keep them back. They won't be able to come through because they're being held back. It's kind of like a bullying thing. But I do want to answer Coffee real quick. Yes,
Okay.
honey, they will go ahead and they will mess with the lights, with the electrical. Not only does it give them the energy that they need, but that's their way of getting your attention to say, hey, I am here.
Yes.
Because unless they do something like that, you're really not going to pay attention or notice. But if you really pay attention, you may be able to smell him. If you see something moving out of the corner of your eye, that's him. He is around. And yes, children are actually very pure and very innocent. And seeing those that have crossed over does not frighten them because they don't understand.
They don't know it's not. They don't
Right.
know it, right? Yeah.
Well, even myself, as a young child, I never understood or realized that who I see and who I'm able to speak to, my aunt, my uncle, my sister, my cousin didn't see who I saw. I didn't understand or realize that I was different. But I do remember one of my uncles telling my dad, She's different. She's like mom. Now, my grandmother was a reader. She read coffee grounds, but she also, that was more to validate what she would say. And I remember him, and I think I was about 4 years old, where he told my dad, she has the gift. She can do what mom does.
So coffee grounds, is that just like another form of reading? Because I've seen how people like they have a bowl of water and they make the water.
Right. Yeah, it's a different form of reading. People read coffee grounds or tea leaves or there's different ways to read.
That's
Now,
so
my
cool.
grandmother specifically did the coffee grounds, and that was her way of validating that what she was saying was, in fact, what she was feeling. Me, I'm confident enough. I don't do any of that. I don't use cards. I don't do grounds. I communicate directly with those who have crossed. I come up with names, as you know. I am getting
Raven,
another name, but I'm kind of blocking it. But I'm getting the name Jason. And I don't know who Jason is tied to, but this is the name that's coming through.
well, that you told me that name in association to my brother that night.
Yeah, that name kept coming up, and it's coming. I'm hearing it again now, Jason.
I think that is associated with him. I mean that's the name. I have it written down, in fact, on a pad of paper, and I even have a nickname, which I think the nickname is validation of me that it's my brother. But the name that
That
he,
was the first night I talked to you. I gave you the nickname.
yep, that's
Yep.
it. That's it. But that's the first night, and that's the name. Jason was affiliated with my brother. So, yep, I think we got
Alex
that
may be
together.
coming through tonight.
I hope. He's been busy. He he's
Oh,
he's
he
he
is busy. He's definitely busy, but I'm hearing Jason again, so he may be coming through tonight.
see. I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up, guys. Is that
You know,
Tab? Are you
yes, pets do see spirits and they will react to them.
Yes. Sorry, I'm not keeping up. I'm trying to just catch the questions, guys. I
Yeah,
apologize.
cats, dogs, all animals do see spirits. They will react to them. Um, Sometimes I know with my dogs, when I have, somebody, they're used to my family coming through. So my dogs don't react to my family. But if somebody comes through that they're not familiar with, they'll start growling and go into protective mode.
Yeah, if you close it, then we won't get the feedback. Okay.
I just wanted to say a couple quick things to Lynn. One is you have validated and helped John like through so much. I mean, I think you could tell him the sky was gone and he would believe you. So I wanted to thank you for that. Like, you really
Absolutely,
have
honey.
given
It's my
him
pleasure.
a lot of much needed validation. He's been looking for that for a long time since his diagnosis. So, and I'm sure he's shared that with you. Um,
Yep.
and then secondly, just when you were talking about children being innocent and just being open because they're innocent,
Mhm.
my cousin was a twin and only one twin survived, and my grandmother pretty much raised him. And I remember my grandmother telling me a story that he was sitting on the floor playing, like just very content and happy and talking to somebody. And she asked him who he was talking to, and he said his twin sister. And she had not ever told him that. He was too little to even know those things,
See,
but big enough to talk, but not to share that he was, a twin and one twin didn't survive. So I thought that was
Wow.
pretty
Gotta love.
right.
fascinating.
Now, my grandsons, my daughter, before she had Roman, who's my oldest grandson, my daughter lost twins. They were both males. And when my daughter was pregnant with Lorenzo, the baby, my grandson also was playing And he said, Mommy, my brother's coming back. My brother's coming back. And she had just found out that she was pregnant. So at that point, I knew what the kid was, but she had a blood test done, and sure enough, it came back. He kept saying that the baby was a boy and his brother's coming back. And sure enough, Lorenzo, he's a boy, and he just the things that he does are similar to the twins in utero.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
We have a close couple that we're friends with, and they had an abortion. They aborted a child that they regretted aborting, and then they got pregnant again, like not too long after that. They believe that it's the same, like it wasn't the right time, but that it's this. She came back, like she came later. You know what I mean? Like
I just got the goosebumps and the chills because I was getting ready to say that the child that was aborted was a female, and was this another female that came back?
It was.
Yeah,
yes.
Wow.
it is that child.
And
See,
yeah, yep, it was. They did. They had another girl. Yep.
yes. Now the thing is some people don't understand, and I know it's heart wrenching, and I know you're in the medical field, but I'm going to give it on a psychic point of view. Is a lot of times losing a child is devastating,
That's
absolutely
parents'
devastating,
worst
the most
nightmare.
heartbreaking thing.
Sure.
Now, the thing is when a child passes in utero or a child passes at a young age, there are reasons that that child is taken before that child is able to live a life, because the life that that child would live, that child would suffer more living than they would just passing on and reincarnating. It's if a child dies in utero, that child could be born with heart issues, brain issues, cancer, you name it, that child would suffer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
So,
deep stuff.
it's not understood, but God works in mysterious ways.
It's
And though we don't understand it, we have to trust it.
we just were talking about one of the families that we are kind of like drawn to at the Pioneer Cemetery are the Tottens.
Oh yes.
And they have lost so many children. Well, we have John and Jane Totten, who lost at least we know of 7 children. Then we have another whole slew of kids about 30 to 50 years later. Totten family. Now, I don't know if it was one of the kids that procreated later, but they also lost a lot of children. And it's like, and that's what really drew us there, because not to mention the children come through, they speak, like
Absolutely.
it's but it's that has always been like something that's really deeply affected me.
And you could
Okay.
hear her, like, it was like a childlike voice even too. It was actually like, I think I even said in the video, oh, that's so cute, because you could just hear that it's a child and she's saying her last name. It blows my mind.
Validating. And I feel something, I don't know what it is, and I've mentioned this to you before, John. I feel something around that family, and I don't know if there's any way to search it to get any kind of a validation, but I feel something with fire.
You said that before, yeah. That you have
I feel something with fire. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But I'm not sure who it's directed to. I just feel the fire.
I guarantee you, being as that this is one of the pioneer cemeteries in Cincinnati, so they're the founding families of this area. Surely somebody in the historical society has done the lineage and the genealogy but on all the families in that cemetery, the Stites, all of them, like they're on
One
the
of
first.
one of them was due to a fire. I'm
Okay,
telling you, mark
and
my
that's what
words.
we can validate these things. So like we have, it
Right.
says the first boatload of pioneers to this area, and it's got a monument with all their names. So they've done the research. It's there to be had. I need to
Okay.
go do the legwork. So
We just talked about getting that yesterday when we visited, that we were gonna like start researching it, you know, go to the historical society, go to the library, you know, that kind of thing. Because I'm like just drawn to that family for some reason. I don't know if it's because of all the children or what the case may be, but I go there for that family.
There's
I'll ask the question. Fire away, Amanda. You got questions? Fire away. Anybody? Don't be embarrassed of any questions. You know, this is a friendly chat, a friendly environment. Believe me, the questions that you're going to ask, I guarantee I've probably already thought them myself. So don't be embarrassed. Like if you think you're going to, if you think it's stupid or something,
anything that I can answer or help.
Yep. Even if
Absolutely.
you think it's not a big deal, just fire away. That's why we're doing this. You know, she's here to answer the questions, guys. You know, good and bad. You know, if you want the answers, you know, she's not gonna blow smoke, guys. So come on
No,
with it.
I don't sugarcoat, I don't candy coat, and I have no reason to. I missed what Seth said.
You got anything, babe?
No, he's just saying like that you're on point, and Japhid was saying that it's given her some hope, and that is the whole reason that we're here to do this.
And that's why I do what I do, to give peace and comfort to those that are left behind, because we do worry about our loved ones. Everybody worries about their loved ones. Are they okay? Or are they around? Are they? And I take great pride in being able to answer those questions, and anything that I can do to help someone, I'm in.
I know,
Sweetheart,
right?
you're going to hit when I hit.
My wife has a
I'll
question.
share. We'll
Go
run
ahead.
away.
You
Go
want to
ahead,
know or no? She had a
I
very
need to hit too, so we'll share numbers.
No,
It doesn't
had a
work
very
like
good
that,
friend of hers,
unfortunately.
best friend, 20 plus years, nursing school together, pregnant together. How long were the birthdays apart? So her best friend has the same birthday as my stepdaughter, and then their two girls were how long? 2 months apart. They were born from each other, and earlier this year she died from a brain aneurysm
Oh man, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah,
That's
that's terrible.
terrible.
that she didn't know that she had, and it happened while she was away from home on a cruise in Puerto Rico, and the cruise ship thought that she was drunk.
Wow. That's
sad.
horrible.
I've lost somebody to those too. It's always very quick and sudden, and that you don't know. You know, that's
Right.
that, and that's there you go, guys. You don't know. Like we're all ticking time bombs. We all are. One of us can walk out in the street tomorrow, get run over by a bus. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Life
It
is a
happens.
gift. Life
That's
is a gift, and life is precious. Make it count.
That's right.
It doesn't, it costs nothing to be kind to each other. That's free. Say
Yep.
hello, smile at somebody, because at the end of the day, if I always walk around the stores, I smile at everybody. I don't care who it is. I always give a smile because, well, I know, but you're not going to know at the end of the day. That smile from you may have meant the world to that person.
So
Raise somebody up.
I have something to show Boomer Babe 66.
Yes, little, I do.
Boomer Babe 66. There you go.
What's that? Everyone,
My
dad
radio
was
equipment.
Oh,
Okay.
he turned on one of his radios. Okay, let me read it. Hi, everyone. My dad was a hand radio operator. Is that supposed to say hand? I'm sure.
Ham,
And
no,
loved the
ham.
radios.
Ham.
Oh, ham. Okay.
Ham
Uh,
operator.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that. The day after he passed, he turned on one of his radios, and when I asked how he did it, it went off. I was given a gift. That's an amazing gift.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They will come through. And that's the thing, is they will come through and let you know that they have crossed over, made it over to the other side.
That's an amazing gift. You know, that a lot of people would give anything for a gift like that. So wow,
You know,
nice.
I do have a story. My youngest son, he's sitting here right now listening to the whole show. He's also a reader. His
My
best
favorite
friend
hobby.
passed away a year ago in a car accident. And John, I think I told you this story. I'm not sure. But before he found out that Michael had passed, he saw Michael and it was dark. He saw Michael walking around, pacing around.
Told me, yep. I heard the
Yep.
story. Yeah.
He saw Michael passing around. Now, mind you, Joe didn't know Michael had passed yet. And in the area where the accident occurred, that Michael and his two other friends, but Michael was his best friend, passed, Joe described the building behind him. And all he could see, he had the vision, it was a bright light. And Michael looked over at Joe. And he looked back, and then he and his friends, he grabbed the other two friends, and they went towards a bright light where they saw Joe standing. Now, mind you, this was before Joseph saw the accident scene and before Joe even knew that Michael passed. My Joe crossed his friends over
Oh wow.
without
Really
even
special.
knowing he did it.
Wow. That's to know that, to have that gift. That's really cool. And that's when I deal with the issue of, this nasty person. Like I said, I'll open up the spirit box and see if we can hear his voice. I wouldn't mind trying to get him to come through. What I don't want to do is I don't want him to be bullied or harassed with these nasties. Like I really need to
Right.
deal with this person, guys. He's this person. Well, there's two of them, and they're bullying my boy here, Steve.
And we're going to come up, John, we have a plan. I have a plan. And we're going to put that to the test.
Yep.
Where they're not going to bully my little sweetheart. Absolutely not. Lisa has a question. He was at first, honey, but he's not now. He's moved on and he's moved past from that now. And he's able to continue going from family member to family member that was kept from him. He is giving the message. He's telling me to tell you, do not worry about that. Don't get stuck on that, because that's going to work itself out. He says everyone meets their maker, and that's something that they're going to have to answer for. As long as you all know that you did right and what your intentions were, he says he knows that as well. So don't let that negativity get to you. Do not think about that. He's not upset.
And Sessa was talking about I also, you also said he was going to go through cancer treatment again and beat it too. That was another thing that I know that.
Who, Seth?
Yep.
Yeah. The first night I read for him, I predicted that.
Yep. It's yeah. So we're here to help y'all. I mean that's so if you want to reach out to her, let me show it again. Let me take down this comment so you guys can see. There is her email, guys. If it's something that you don't want to put into the chat, you're not comfortable. Yeah, thank you, bro. If you're not comfortable putting something into the chat, you don't want to say it publicly, feel free to reach out. Of course, she's a locked vault. You can trust her with whatever, with your secrets. You don't have to worry about that. So if you don't want to put it in the chat, there you go, guys.
Yeah. When I read for a client, and this is important, when I read for a client, it's confidential between myself and that client. Seth, sorry, baby, I'm putting you on the spot tonight, but you put yourself out there too, so I don't feel too bad. But if there are things that are very personal, there's confidentiality.
Sure.
And I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear.
Yeah, and you're safe with the negative stuff too, guys. Like I can't stress that enough. You want to try to do everything possible to keep the negative energy away from you because it really can be draining. So, you're in safe territory.
Okay, Lisa, I want to go back to the health. Okay. I want you to pay attention to your sugars, honey, because I feel borderline diabetes. But anything major, I'm not feeling anything major, but I do feel a borderline diabetes sitting there. So be careful of what you eat. Try not to take in so many carbs, so much sugar. And as long as you watch your diet, you should be okay.
Yeah. Lisa's got a little bit of a gift too, I think. We've been talking a lot. So it's really cool. It's really cool that I'm able to interact with some people that are into this stuff as much as I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking my dad. It's life, and I can say it's the most beautiful. Well, and that's the thing. Like that's what life's all about. Making those special moments with your loved ones, your family, and enjoying today, now, and trying to be positive. So that is because so many people, man, they just stick their family in like nursing homes and just go on about their selfish existence, doing what they want to do and totally oblivious to what's important. And that really blows my mind. That's why I'm yapping so much. I'm trying to like wake people up. You know what I mean? It's because
absolutely it's important.
It's important.
Kate, that is a beautiful thing and a beautiful honor to have. And when the time comes for him to pass on, you are going to have the comfort that you need. And he's going to reward you for it. They don't forget. Even though at times where they're not conscious, they know you're there. And he knows you're there. And he appreciates it more than he can say or express or any of that.
I told you, Lisa, for all the doubters, guys, I'm telling you, she's on point. It's really cool. You want to know why? Because it's a gift being able to be around somebody and know somebody that can
You're welcome, Lisa.
and talk to these people and give people the closure and the knowledge that they need, to lighten people's hearts. That's what it's all about, right? Making other people feel good and loving and cherishing your family. That's what it's all about, guys.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna reach out to you, Lynn, because I think my wife needs some closure.
Absolutely. It would
You're
be a
very welcome.
pleasure to be able to help. You're due for a reading too. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I keep looking at you. So you're due for a reading too.
I didn't want to say that, but I knew, he's brought up a couple of things, and I know that because wanting the spirit box as badly as he wanted it, I know that there's questions and things that he's after.
Absolutely.
There's things that he wants to, there's holes, spaces he wants to fill, and I get that. I get that because I had that too. It's like those have been filled now, and it's very satisfying and fulfilling. So he's seen me. So like it's really cool. So that's why I invited him up here, because I knew that he would really benefit from this.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure to go ahead and read for you both. Yes, type 2 diabetes.
Let's see. My grandmother's going to hospice. My aunt is taking it hard. I wonder if these kind of times families come back and comfort the others. I think so, but
I didn't hear the question.
my grandma's sister is going on hospice, and my aunt is taking it hard. I wonder if in these kind of times, family comes back and comforts the others.
Yes, they do.
They're supposed to, yeah. Usually
Absolutely,
that's what
they do. Yes. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely, Amanda. They do.
I didn't put it out there, but I did a spirit box session where, I interact with my mother-in-law and her husband in my living room. And I say, we miss you, or something along those lines. And they say, of course we do. Of course we do. So like they hear everything that we say out loud. And I know that for a fact because Steve's validated that. He says, you're a nice friend. I said, do you like having a new friend? He says, you're nice, and then friend. And then later he says, Steve, bud. So I'm saying, hey, you're my bud. You're my bud. That's my word. That's my line. Like, Steve's my bud. I've said that many times. He said that exact line. So that's him saying he hears me out when I say it out loud and I speak to him, like he hears that. And I can tell that he appreciates the friendship. I can even feel that. So it's really neat. It's so neat that I wish I could just take that experience and just implant it in every one of your guys' brains so you could feel what I'm going through and what I've experienced. It's just so neat. It's so mind blowing. I know I keep going on and on about that. I apologize.
Don't apologize. These are things that, validate what it's like communicating with those on the other side. And they feel just like you feel. Even though they're on the other side, they still have feelings. They still have the love. There's not really, somebody had asked earlier, are they upset with they do get upset, but not on minor things, because again, they got to meet their maker. Now, there's one that you and I both know of that we're working with getting past those feelings.
Yeah.
This one is a special case that we're working on getting past those feelings. But overall, they're not. I can't see that. What is that?
Let's see.
Oh, dementia.
Yeah. So I one of the things that I was speaking to a mutual friend earlier, and they were mentioning that they saw this gentleman saw his father, and I said, well, when you saw him, how did he look? Like, because I always wondered, like, the people that pass with dementia or they're very ill. How do they, when they show themselves, how do they come through? And I would think that if they had dementia, that's all the human ailments are gone. I think you would see them maybe
Yes.
like in the prime of their life, how they would look in the prime of their life at their best. Is that pretty common, or?
It can be common. See, when I've seen my mom and my dad, even my sister, they just look so beautiful. They look young, but it's at the age that were at. Now, I'll be the first to say my mother passed from suicide. When my mother comes to me, she doesn't come to me how she died. And I'm grateful that even during readings, when I read for a client, anybody that comes through with suicide or was murdered or whatever, they do not come to me in the condition that they were in that caused them to pass. Because once they pass, that's gone.
Okay. I was
That's
going to
gone.
say, so that they don't come through like the movies looking all gruesome and stuff like
No.
that.
No, they don't. Anybody that has seen the movie The Sixth Sense, no, they don't come through like that. I promise you.
All right. Yeah, because I mean, and those are the movies that really ruin it for some people, and that their mind just instantly closes. They want nothing to do with it because it scares them, and they don't want to have those type of feelings. And I can't.
Right.
Well, I can say it is kind of unnerving when you're laying in your house and water bottles start crinkling and you hear doors shutting and knocking and like crazy like activity, like somebody's moving around in your house in another dimension, but they're making noise and it's just a little bit of the noise is coming through. That's what I live with now. That can be a
You
little
have to set your boundaries.
It's that some of them don't respect it, guys. They even though I haven't set them very well, but I do have some, and we talked about it. It's not. We actually were talking about this before we went live. I have Steve's here, but there's also a woman here that wants her opportunity to come through.
Amy. Her name
Amy.
is Amy.
So she's made her presence known. She hasn't been one of those ones on the back of my neck. I don't like that shit. Okay, so like at Steve's I let him come over the back of my neck when I'm editing because he likes to hear himself speak, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But
He's
really
amazed. He's amazed at the equipment that somebody can actually hear him.
Hear him.
That's what it is. He's amazed.
And you know what? It's amazing to me too. Every single time I hear him come through, it amazes me. It like especially now, because we got for a while, and I'm not sure. I started to doubt if there was two Steves until they validated that they're both there. I do have two Steves.
Yes.
But Steve-O is, for some reason, they both come through. Steve-O comes through more, but they're both nice. But they hang around me. But I do have some spirits that are like really pushing their way into my life without permission. And even though they may not be negative, I do got a really nasty one, guys. A really nasty one. And if you guys heard, you're gonna hear it when I put the video up. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to give you the freaking skin crawls. It's going to. I had to stop editing. I don't even want to edit this in my house, guys. We were speaking of it because it's so unnerving that I don't want that to open the doorway to that shit in my house just by reviewing the evidence. That's how like unnerving it is right now. So I'm just trying to prevent this individual from having any further access or getting any further into my life, guys. You'll see. She's nasty.
Well, we're going to go ahead. I told you we spoke about this earlier. I'm going to walk you through what you can do to keep that at bay. I do not want you doing that inside your home. The one that is inside your home, that's Amy. She's trying to get your attention. Amy has a story to tell. Amy's life was taken from her. She needs to be heard. There's a message in there somewhere. And I'm not going to really try to tap into her right now, but I feel almost as if Amy is going to tell her story and possibly tell who did this to her, because I'm not feeling there was any justice for her on who took her life. It's kind of an unsolved cold case. And I think some of the information that's going to come through is going to be very important to her case. I could be wrong, but I feel there's something there that she is adamant that she's not respecting the boundaries.
Yeah, and I'm almost like, see, that's the thing. Like and that's where I have to. So I got a question for you then. So I've made an exception with Steve because we have a special bond. But I was almost going to say just now, like, well, in that situation, I almost don't really want to deny her access into my home, but I don't want to give the message that others can do that too.
Deny the access, because what you want to do, and it's like I said, if it's your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, or Steve-O, that's okay. If you're okay with the other Stephen, that's okay too. But everybody else has got to respect your boundaries and your privacy. There's a difference. When you got that box going, that's your time. When that box is not going, that's your time.
My time, yes.
And I'm going to have to do, I think, with her like I did with Raymond, and keep her at bay outside. You have to wait your turn.
And I'll give them, and I know she can hear right now. They can see, this is the thing, guys. She hears this. Like, she knows what's going on. You're gonna have my time. You get that. Like, I made it. And she came here because we spoke about her the first night we spoke. We spoke about Amy came through to her the first night. I have it written down, guys. I can prove it. Like, I know nobody doubts it, but this is something we spoke about. And
she was murdered. So she needs to really, it goes back to one of them things, where, hey, I can talk into this. They can hear me. I got to tell you. Like I really need to, it's urgent for her, but she's got to understand is, okay, you know what? Yes, this is urgent to you. I understand that. I can respect that, but you need to respect me. So at this point, I am going to, once the live is finished, I'm going to tap in and speak to her and get her outside that door like I did Raymond, and she's got to stay away from the door.
Yeah, I mean, she's making noise. I actually, guys, you don't know this, but I stopped editing, and I had to force myself to take a nap because I had to shut it down. I had to shut down my access to all of the noise and the crap and trying to like creep its way into my brain. I shut it down for like 4 hours. Like it's I had to.
You have to, for your own energy and well-being, you have to. Because it can be very overwhelming. And that's another thing that people don't understand is, with the spirit box, with some of the things that come through can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
I told you to relax too when we were on the phone.
But be prepared to take on the feelings that they have. And that's another thing is, with the spirit box, with whatever comes through with the spirit box or A Ouija board is a little bit different because that to me just brings on evil. But the spirit box is a little bit different. They know you can hear them. And now you are going to feel overwhelmed with their energy of urgency.
I feel it.
There's not only the urgency, but if there's sadness, if there's unknown, whatever it is that they've got going on, you now take over that feeling.
We spoke about this earlier, guys. Like, and this is what I'm working with. Those of you who have followed me for a while on my other channel have heard me talk about this exact story about a Joe Rogan podcast where a car goes flying by. You're just driving down the middle lane at a certain pace. A car goes flying by. Then another car that's kind of pacing you, all of a sudden they get activated, and then they're like rat racing through traffic. That person's amygdala was hijacked. Their fight or flight response was a false triggering. They're not really in danger. They don't have to flight and they don't have to fight, right? So it's a false triggering. So I'm working on when I feel those feelings, and there's no reason for me to be feeling these feelings. Whoosh, I got to separate it. I got to stop right there and start working on separating, because it basically ate me alive like the last several days. Drazo knows I've been struggling my ass off.
Yep.
You know, like it's so now I know. But see, that I used to be one of those people who was high stress in traffic until I learned, hey, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? And, you know, once you understand the process of how it works, you can stop the process, intervene, and deactivate it. So that's what I'm working on. And I'm not that good at it, but at least I know now there's a process I can do to avoid going into the freaking pitfall I was just in, because I was totally just immersed in not just one person's energy. They were flooding me. They were tag teaming me. We were talking about this, a negative guy and a negative girl. The one was running up on us, trying to scare who did successfully scare my wife, plus the girl who's saying the nasty stuff, tag teaming me. And they were, and I was sick. So like on top of that, like I was already like in a weaker state, and it really did affect me. And I'm the first one to say, watching Ghost Adventures and watching Zach Bagans have all these fake, well, maybe they're not fake. I got to stop with that, because every time I criticize something that he's done on the show, it happens to me. And it's like, oh shit, maybe that was real because it happened to me now. So but that kind of like bit me in the ass a little bit, right? Because I'm here I am criticizing this guy about, you know, yeah, you got an attachment, yeah, and it's and this and that, and then I'm getting tormented. So just goes to show, guys, you got to have a respect for it, because it is real and it can affect you.
Very, very real. Before I forget, John, I did send you a picture, and it's going to go back towards your brother. So we'll
She's
just leave that there.
I can see it. She's very pretty. So you know, that's I can see, you know, like I can see, like he would be he would take the time to admire a pretty woman all the time. That's just the type of
he
guy.
did.
Yep.
A couple of times he did.
That's him. That's him.
Yeah. So just anybody that, you know, very important, anybody that's looking to get into this, that's just be aware those feelings will come on. You can take on those feelings. Now, you, John, you know, I've been checking on you all week because I've been concerned.
Yeah, she could tell, like it's I finally was able to pull out of it. But yeah, they were getting the best of me. And I'll just leave it at that, guys. But they can literally wreak havoc in your life and cause all kinds of freaking chaos. So Here, Sweaty has a question. My best friend of 50 years passed a year ago, and her grandbaby's first word was Nana, what she wanted to be called. His parents insist he wants the can a child wants the he wants the fruit. Can a child comprehend that? I don't understand. He wants the maybe that
A
maybe
child cannot.
it could be
A child cannot comprehend that somebody is deceased. They cannot comprehend that. That is just, they don't understand. Now, the child that's seeing Nana, Nana is really there.
Yes.
Nana is really there. The first word is Nana. You know, my grandsons, and it goes back to my sister's deceased. She's been for 15 years. My grandbabies are 2 and almost 4. And her name was Gloria, and my children always called her Go-Go. And my grandchildren will look at the corner of the wall or whatever and laugh and, you know, and call her. They will say Go-Go.
That's true. See, and that's truly amazing. It really is, because anybody that has kids or has raised kids or grandkids know that when babies say words, they're mimicking somebody. They hear those words. That's how they learn them. Okay, so what dada is dada, mama. Those parents they say those words over and over again. So they obviously Nana was saying Nana. Nana, say Nana, Nana's here, Nana's, stuff like that. And over time, that's the first word. I think that's really cool. That's special, a special gift.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why do spirits seem to...
Why do spirits...
I lost that.
Let's see. Why do spirits
All right,
seem
there
to
we go. Why do spirits
like
seem to like standing over me while I sleep?
Making sure that you're safe.
Do they check on it? Are they just checking?
Yeah, they're reinforcing you that they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very common message.
It's a protection thing. It's just, standing over you while you sleep is just, actually, it's more of a protection thing. With them hovering over you is a protection thing.
My dad's brother did that to me. My dad lost his brother. He was 5 years old. He died from Lou Gehrig's disease a long time ago. And I was a kid. And I said, "Hey, Dad," I says, "I had a little boy watching over me." And he goes, "What little boy?" I says, "I don't know." He goes, so he took out the family photo and album and he started showing me pictures. And I says, "That one." He goes, "That's my brother." I says, "Well, he was in my room last night watching over me." And I must have been like 8, 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they come in, they'll watch over you. Sometimes you're lucky and you're able to see them, and sometimes you just feel them.
Yeah. No, I saw him. Full exploration of him.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. I was like, okay. I didn't know what I was seeing, but it was weird.
Right.
So I said something to my dad, and it's when he showed me the picture of his brother.
Right. And that's the same thing that Katie is getting, whoever it is that's standing, and I get a grandfather figure. I'm hearing a grandfather figure that stands over her.
It's a good thing.
There you go. See, it's such a cool thing, guys, like that, to know that our family are right here. They're not far away. They're literally right around us all the time.
Well, that's the thing. Just because you cannot see them does not mean they are not there.
Oh, they're there.
Oh, they're definitely there. What are you seeing around me here? Because I notice you're looking at a certain direction here.
Mm-hmm.
Who's with me? I know who's with me. I'm testing you now.
Sorry about that. Trying to give So my son's having a car problem when they're on the phone with AAA, and they wanted to know the make and model. So sorry about that, guys.
You're
Oh
fine.
wow! Look what Kate just said.
Look at
You
that.
called me
Yes.
Katie. Nobody on here calls me that. That's my papa.
Yes, nobody does call you Katie. See, that those are the things, the small things that that really validate. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His parents
Well,
think
and a lot of times, you know, because you do get people that jump in, or you get the skeptics, and I get it all the time. I love the skeptics, love them. Where even with John, when I spoke to John for the very first time, I gave him his nickname automatically, so he knew exactly who I was talking to.
Yep. Yep.
And that's validation that what I am saying, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm telling you what I'm hearing.
that.
Oh, there's my warning sign.
Yep. So all right, guys, I'm not going to keep you on here forever. I know it's getting a little bit late. But guys, if you want to reach out to Lynn, here's her contact information. It's going to go in the community tab. It's going to go in the description of the video. But just know that helps. Just one reach out away, and you can have your
Absolutely.
questions answered. And you know, please feel free to reach out. Though, don't hesitate, because it may be the message that you need. You know, it's you know. I just want you guys to have all the tools available to you. That's all. That's why we're here. That's why we do these things. So,
Absolutely.
here's a quick question. Lynn, do you think I'll be able to expand my gifts? Well, I can answer that. I know you can. I'm expanding mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I test myself daily. I test myself daily. Lisa, reach out to me, honey, and we'll go ahead and come up with different tools and different things that you can do to expand.
Yep. So, okay, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Smash that like button if you haven't already. We really appreciate the support. And don't worry, she'll be on the show again, and you know, she'll be around, so you'll have access to her. And you guys, if you want to hit me up on IG, you know, I'm always available.
You're welcome, Boomer babe.
So
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. So till next time, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you later.
All right, bro.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Lynn.